Hello and welcome. Today we have another ladder race between the chocolate teapots and Njinga Mkango, I believe. I may have said that wrong. I apologize if I have. Today's race will be taking place on downtown Titans, one lap, which means going through Titans Grove Reverse KoM, the hilly KoM, and then a downhill finish into the downtown Watopia. The plan for this race, as you're about to see, is sprint out the pen, go very hard. We felt there was a few of their riders that would really suffer if we put in a big, hard 1 minute effort at the beginning. So you can see we really hit it very hard coming out the pen, trying to drop some of their riders. This was really, really painful to do. I'm just coming off the back of FRR, had 1 day's rest, so the legs are still heavy. So this effort at the start was really difficult. So I definitely wanted to try and get as much in early as I could. As you can see, we've dropped 2 of their riders, Dobson and Foster. The gentleman in 10th, Naylor, or Naya, however you say his name, isn't actually part of this race. Don't even know how he got in the pen, but there you go. So the plan kind of worked. We dropped 2 of their guys. We're very fortunate that we have Freddie racing with us. Temporarily, he is a very big engine and he's able to come through to the front in a moment and help keep the pace high along with Kev and tow us away from Robson and Foster. So with the early fireworks out the way, it's going to be pretty mellow up through the Titan rollers. The next point that we're planning on putting a dig in will be up the KoM. To see how things go, and then obviously the next KoM, the hilly KoM, will be the next point that we're going to try and break the team apart. So yeah, start went to plan, really happy with how that went. At this point I am stuck in wins still, so very grateful to be able to sit in the draft right here. So as we're coming down this descent, which leads into the Titans KoM Reverse, it does get a little strung out. Gert and Kevin are putting down a pretty decent pace at the top of the rollers. I think I've talked about it before, but over rollers, it's really nice to just keep the pressure on over the top. They do seem to create splits more readily, so it's nice to keep some pressure down. But again, the plan for this KoM is to hit it as hard as we can, full beans, and see what happens, see if we can split some people up. As you'll see, we do manage to shell, I want to say, 2 of their riders, either on the KoM itself or just afterwards on the descent, which was really nice. So it ends up being just the 4 of us, and I believe it was Tweedle, I may say that wrong again, I apologize, which is exactly what we wanted. So we have a 4v1 going into the second half of the ladder portion of this race. So you can see over the top, it's me, Freddie, Gert at the front with Kev and the 3 other riders from the other team. They're a little strung out, but realistically, we'll call that one group. So we did have the plan. We were thinking about having Freddie go back and try and pull Kev over to this group. I think he does that, but unfortunately when he does that, myself and Gert kind of fall asleep a little bit, and we let Twiddle, Freddie, and Kev get back on. The goal was not to necessarily let their rider get back on, but it happened. But again, it works out in the end. So here we're coming into the final, I'm going to say, separation point of the race, which is the Zwift KoM or the hilly KoM. The plan here is I'm definitely feeling it. Kev is also feeling it. So the plan was for Gut to attack this hard, try and get a split, and then the rest of us would just mark the other team's rider. Doesn't quite work out like that. Gut does go. And their rider Twiddle was having a fantastic race, managed to stay with him, and myself, Freddie, and Kev all end up being slightly dropped on this climb. So fortunately, again, Freddie with his big diesel manages to tow me and Kev back onto the wheel on the descent after this climb, which was really important for the finish, because again, we're trying to get the highest possible point total that we can for this, as well as just dealing with the fact that Freddie caddied into Emerald unexpectedly and is only going to get half points in this race. So we do need to keep that in mind looking at the point totals for the finish. So with 2.3k to go, there's this little climb, and this is where things get a little weird. Freddie goes for a big attack, and we're just kind of pacing, and their rider responds, and we were just, I don't know if we were slow or he just got much more momentum than we expected. As you can see on the screen, he has some connection issues, so he tends to be jumping all over the place, which makes things a little more difficult. So we're trying to jump into the wheels here and stay with him. We don't want to get dropped. And I think what ends up happening is Gert will end up riding off the front. Freddie's going to sit up. Their rider will end up in, I'm going to say, no man's land between Gert and myself. Freddie's going to go back and try and help Kev get back across to the main group for the sprint finish. These rollers, again, kind of do what rollers do, make things very challenging and difficult for the team to stay coordinated. So here we are, final 500 meters. Gert is 2 seconds up the road. Freddie and Kev are just a few seconds behind. Though I think Freddie's actually in the wheel at this point, and Kev's coming into the wheel. Big shout out to Freddie. Huge race by him today. You'll see their riders just kicked the arrows power up for the sprint, so I pop mine. I start sprinting. Freddie starts sprinting. Legs are burning here. Barely starting to catch up to him. Managed to overhaul him towards the line. We both overhaul Gert, who's also putting in everything, but having been alone off the front was a little tired. And I do manage to pip their rider for first, so we come in first, third, fourth, fifth, which I believe is enough for the team win. Very fun and exciting ladder race.